Hi everyone, it's Gary here, and very warm welcome to the fourth official here on YouTube for the first and what we hope will be a regular series of Monday night live streams here on our YouTube channel, looking back at everything that happened over the course of the weekend. And with it being the start of a brand new season, there is plenty to talk about. Confirmation today from Rangers of the signing of Oliver Antman, the hiring of Leanne Crichton as the new Rangers women's team's head coach, and of course, all the fallout from Saturday's 1-1 draw at Motherwell and the start of the league season. If you want to get involved here on the fourth official here on Blue and A, please feel free to drop us a question here on the live stream. We will certainly get those queries and questions live here on the show as we kind of go through on this live. And if there's anything that you want to share, anything you want to talk about, please feel free to join in. And myself and the rest of the fourth official team, as they come on here, will certainly answer all your questions. The big news, though, certainly today is the confirmation of Oliver Atman's signing for Rangers from Go Ahead Eagles. The 23-year-old Finnish international has signed a 4-year contract for a fee in the region of around about 3 million with some add-ons that could potentially rise up to around about 4 million. And I think anyone that saw the game on Saturday will know that there's certainly a big requirement for Rangers to get someone in on the right-hand side of the park. Once again, Kieran Dowell, square peg in a round hole out there, and wasn't the worst on the park on Saturday, but certainly wasn't a dynamic forward on the park, and it's something that certainly the Finnish internationalist will certainly be able to do in terms of adding that little bit of quality on the right-hand side of the field. We've obviously got Mikey Moore, who was confirmed on Friday as well, and with Moore and Antman alongside JD Gassama, that's certainly 3 real quality wide additions to the squad that will certainly be tasked of trying to get Rangers creatively a lot better than what they were at the weekend. Tomorrow night, Victoria Plzen come to Ibrox in the next round of the Champions League qualifiers, and off the back of the Panathinaikos game and the Motherwell game, it's certainly an area of the park that Rangers will need to be a lot stronger in terms of being a lot more creative, being a lot more open, looking to create a lot more opportunities. Would you put Oliver Antman straight into the starting lineup for tomorrow against Pilsen? Would you start Mikey Moore, or do you expect Kieran Dowell to play as well? Please, if you're watching the stream, drop us a comment on there, and we will discuss as we go. So Saturday at Fir Park, late kick-off, 5:30, and the game finished 1-1. And I think it's fair to say that it wasn't the greatest day at the office for Russell Martin. I think we've already mentioned how Rangers struggled creatively to create too many opportunities. Goal early doors from James Tavernier, the corner coming across from Joe Rothwell, taking advantage of some fairly slack defending from Motherwell. James Tavernier with a free header at the back post, which I think the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better for, but will certainly be looking for Rangers to create an awful lot more, because other than that goal from James Tavernier and a couple of shots from distance, the Motherwell goalkeeper wasn't really troubled in too much detail during that first half. And I think if it hadn't been for a couple of saves made by Jack Butland, Motherwell certainly could have been at least even by the half time. And it was no surprise the way the direction of traffic went in that second half. Motherwell coming more and more into the game, Rangers making a few substitutions, taking the likes of Joe Rothwell and Nicholas Rashkin, Mohamed Diamandi off, and that flow in the midfield, the likes of Connor Barron and Lyle Cameron coming on, the Dean Bayrami, that kind of disrupted the flow a little bit, and Motherwell were able to kind of run over the top of Rangers, and it was no surprise really when that equalising goal came in with just 3 minutes to go. And defensively, you can look at James Tavernier, you can look at Kieran Dowell's part in that goal, and certainly both should have done an awful lot better. But to be perfectly honest, if you're getting into the game with 3 minutes to go, holding a 1-0 lead, you should be seeing it out. You should be doing everything to clear your lines, to make sure that you're defensively solid. And all too often we saw that last season, that Rangers were just too easy to score against. Defensively, just not sound, not structured enough, not giving enough protection to the goalkeeper. And Motherwell were certainly good value for that goal. And it created a lot of questions, I think, for Russell Martin going into the game with Victoria Plzen tomorrow in the Champions League, with what he does with that makeup of his starting lineup. Does he continue to persevere with James Tavernier at right back and Max Aaron's out position over on the left-hand side? Reports come out of Turkey today suggesting that there may well be a fee in the region of around about €4 million agreed with Besiktas for Ridvan Yilmaz. And might that give Rangers a bit of leeway to go out and actually bring in a specialist that can play left back and actually allow Max Aarons to go to his more familiar place over at right back? Certainly the structure of that defence with John Souttar over on the left-hand side of the centre of defence alongside Max Aarons, and they've looked shaky at the back there against Panathinaikos. Fortunate that they didn't take all of their opportunities against Motherwell at the weekend. Again, opportunities that Motherwell could have taken that would have got them a goal a lot earlier than when the goal came from. And I think it's certainly an area of the park that Rangers will want to look to try and do. Does Emmanuel Fernandez come into the thinking, the fact that he's maybe slightly more left-hand side that can maybe come in and do an option, or does he even go to 5 at the back and play with wing backs? You could move James Tavernier in one, be a bit more of a central defender. You've got Max Aarons that can play right wing back. You've got Jeff that can play left wing back. That's something that I think the manager might want to look at. Maybe not in a home game, but maybe for an away leg. If Rangers can take a lead over to Czechia, that might well be something that comes into the manager's thinking. Let us know your thoughts. What would you do with the make-up of the defence for tomorrow night? Do you continue to persevere with James Tavernier? What do you do with Max Aarons? Certainly all the evidence we've seen so far suggests that left back is not an area of the park that he will do terribly well in for Rangers this season. So we will need a specialist in that area. And then what do you do with the makeup in the midfield? Nico Rashkin, Mohamed Diamandi, I think struggled playing slightly wide of Joe Rothwell at the weekend. Mohamed Diamandi being substituted, Rashkin also substituted, and it goes to the comments that Russell Martin made after the game as were the players that he was referring to when he was talking about leaving your egos at the door and doing everything that was asked by the manager. Was he referring to those two? Certainly when Lyle Cameron came on, he certainly seemed to fill the instructions of the manager, but I think it's fair to say that he maybe doesn't quite have the quality of someone like Nico Rashkin or a Mohamed Diamandi for a European game, and I think it would be a big risk for the manager to go straight to Lyle Cameron as a starter for the game tomorrow. And then what do you do with the striker? Danilo, I think, got a bit of an anonymous figure at Fir Park at the weekend. Cyril Dessers came on, did an awful lot of running, didn't really look at scoring, let's be honest, but when he came on, the manager certainly seemed to praise his work ethic. And with the news coming out of Greece today that AEK Athens are looking to do a deal for the striker, the Croatian striker Luka Jovic, ex of Fiorentina, of course, then maybe that avenue of the move to Greece for Cyril Dessers may well close, and then that gives Russell Martin the decision of what he does with Cyril Dessers. Does he continue to go with him? He revealed in today's press conference that both Hamza Gaman and Taylor Asgard are not going to be available for the Pilsen game tomorrow. So does Dessers start? Does he continue to persevere with Danilo, who doesn't appear suited to be the kind of lone man through the middle? So I think there's a lot of questions to be answered by the manager. What would your team be for the game tomorrow? Please let us know in the comments here on the stream, and we will let you know as we go in terms of what the fourth official community want to do with that game. The other big news, as I mentioned at the start of the show, is the hiring of Leanne Crichton as the new Rangers women's head coach. The ex-Scotland international, who was Leanne Rossi's assistant at Glasgow City last season, has taken over from Joe Potter on a 3-year contract. A lot of work for Leanne Crichton to do this season with Rangers women. Lost a lot of big name players over the course of the summer, the likes of Rio Hardy, Kirsty McLean, Chelsea Cornett, all leaving, and there's a bit of work, I think, for Leanne Crichton to do in terms of trying to get Rangers back into a position where they can challenge for the title again. Didn't make it last season, did well to get to the 2 cup finals last year, but the league is the one that Rangers will want to do, given the budget that they spend on their women's team. For Hibs to win the title, for Glasgow City to get the second Champions League place, it's something that certainly both Rangers and Celtic will want to be a lot better in the women's game this season. So, yep, good luck to Leanne Crichton in that one. She certainly has a big job to do, but personality within Scottish women's football. It's got an awful lot of experience, over 70 caps for Scotland, has been around the game 3 separate spells with Glasgow City. So as much as she's not had a head coach role of her own as of yet, it certainly appears to have impressed Donald Gillies and the rest of the Rangers hierarchy in terms of making her the new head coach and the replacement for Joe Potter, who, let's be honest, did a very good job for Rangers women, particularly in cup competitions. But the league is the one that Leanne Crichton will be given the remit to go and try and secure this season. All eyes turn to Ibrox then on Tuesday evening and the arrival of Victoria Plzen. They come to Ibrox looking to try and secure a place in the playoff round for the Champions League. And today the draw was made over at UEFA headquarters in Neon, and both Rangers and Victoria Plzen know the prize which will stand in their way should they be successful in this tie, and it will be the winner of the game between Red Bull Salzburg and Club Brugge that will stand in either Rangers or Plzen's way of the riches of the Champions League. Of course, only 2 options that were available to Rangers or Plzen. That would be either the winner of that Bruges-Salzburg game or the tie between Benfica and Nice. But it will be Bruges or Salzburg that will be up for grabs for the winner of this Plzen game. And I think anyone looking at that will go as much as Bruges got to the last 16 of the Champions League last season. Certainly, they may well appear to be a bit more of a palatable prospect than a Benfica, for example, to try and get through there. So an opportunity, I think, at least for a challenging game if Rangers can get past Plzen to try and get into the Champions League. What do you think of that draw? Are you happy with the fact that it's potentially Bruges or Red Bull Salzburg, or how do Rangers manage to navigate past Victoria Plzen? One thing that is in Rangers' benefit is it looks like Plzen's star player Sulch, the midfielder, appears to be on the precipice of a move to French football. Lyon, a deal around a region of around about €7 million given for the Croatian midfielder, and I think that would be a big blow for Plzen to lose him, a very creative player and someone that I think Rangers will be very pleased that he will not be on the park for this one. But are you going along to Ibrox on Tuesday night? What's your expectations for that game? Again, please drop us your comments here in the field and we will discuss them here on the stream. What did you make then of the game at the weekend? Obviously, Rangers with that draw at Motherwell. That's now 3 seasons in a row where Rangers have failed to kind of start the season with a win. What do Rangers do? Do they, obviously, with Dundee coming to Ibrox next weekend, Dundee are a side who very much appear to be one of the weaker sides in the Scottish Premiership for this season. They fell to a 2-1 defeat to Hibernian at the weekend and struggled during their Premier Sports Cup group stage under the new head coach, Stephen Presley. So certainly in terms of a home game in between two big European ties, certainly Dundee would be one that you would pick to obviously try and get your first domestic win of the season. But Rangers will want to certainly get some of those new attacking players onto the field, the likes of Mikey Moore, the likes of Oliver Antman. And is there anything else to do? Can they get Taylor Wasgard fit? Can they get Hamza Giman fit and giving us more options at the top end of the park? Loads to see, and certainly here on the Fourth Official, we'll keep you up to date with all the coverage of all the games coming up over the course of the next few days. Plzen, of course, tomorrow, and then Dundee at the weekend. One other thing that I want to draw your attention towards is our exclusive interview with legendary broadcaster Elton Wellesby for our Patreon subscribers. That audio podcast went live on Friday there, and if you've not yet checked out the video, you can see it on our YouTube channel as well. Now free for everyone to view. A really in-depth look at Elton's career, likes of Italia 90, the Seoul Olympics, stories with the likes of Walter Smith, Brian Clough, Gaza, Duncan Ferguson, and a really interesting kind of 35-minute conversation that I had last week with Elton, and I certainly urge you to check that out. If you're not yet a subscriber of the Patreon channel for the Fourth Official, we urge you to come and check us out. It is www.patreon.com/the4thofficial. There you can get all of our coverage across this season, all our podcasts, all our articles, our opinion, our interviews, for less than just £3 per month. Please come and join us over there. We will certainly keep you up to date with everything that's happening across Scottish football throughout the rest of this season. Thank you to everyone that's joined us on this stream today. We'll certainly have more of these throughout the rest of the season. But for now, thanks for watching. Goodbye.